All right, so we're basically ready to go. I finished the warm-up, done my warm-up, done my plyometrics, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna show you all of that. Where me and YouTube have a little bit of a problem, supposedly on YouTube, everybody loses attention, this kind of crap. Your intro's supposed to be quite short. My intro kind of dragged a little bit today, but I do think there's a lot of good information in there, and sometimes I'm kind of just pissed off cutting things and cropping things because of these fucking rules that exist on YouTube that you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, like bring in screen effects. It's like, or just help people get better at running. So I'll show you the warm up. It's that 3K easy, 2K getting into it a little bit, 3K at 5 minutes per K, 2K at 4 minutes per K, and then I move into my drills and all that kind of stuff, and I'm still cooling, and so you'll see all that stuff, but I'll show you how that went while I do that long intro, and I'm now going to go crack on with the session, and then I'll, tell you how it went. So yeah, enjoy. Yeah, look, I'm still doing the little bits of cooling. I guess from a tips perspective, I've been drinking the Maurten. What I found works really well is like 10 minutes before you're going to start your warm-up, then you start like sipping. With fuel, you're kind of looking at like 80 to 100 grams per hour, but you want to break that down into like almost like 10-minute like segments. So 80 divided by 10, I think, is 8 grams. I could make a right balls up of this, but divided anyway. 80 divided by 10 is 8. Yeah, so I think it's like 8 grams per 10 minutes. No, that would be 100 minutes. I've definitely made a balls up with this. So yeah, anyway, 80 divided by 60, and then that's per minute, and then times it by 10. It works out that like over the hour you're getting your 80 grams, but you're trying to drink it at a rate of, whatever sort of works for the 10 minutes. I'm really like longing that out, but it's not that difficult. So let me just do the maths, because this is now going to annoy me. 80 divided by 60 is like pretty much like 1, and then it's 1 1/3, I guess, so it's probably like 1.3. So times that by 10 minutes, it's probably 13 grams every 10 minutes. 13 times 6 is 60, plus 3 is 78. I mean, you wouldn't go far wrong with 13 grams every 10 minutes. So that tends to work better than dumping like what most people do, which is like literally the worst thing you can do, is like swallow like an entire, maybe like 25 gram gel or whatever it would be. And honestly, it's such a disaster, because the body says to itself, I don't need, this 25 grams of carbs right now. And so it releases insulin, and then you store the insulin, you store the glucose, and your insulin drops, and it's a fucking disaster, to say it politely. Don't do that. Start doing it the way I do it. I've also got the cooling vest back on. That worked really well. A couple of people commented, few comments. One, somebody said I look tired. I probably am bloody tired. I've been training probably like 2 hours a day. It kind of gets tough between cycling. I want to bring my training hours up, because there's a direct correlation between training hours and race results. So if your training hours are 10 hours per week, then you get a certain race result. 14, certain race result. 18, certain race result. I've seen Ironmen, triathletes, cyclists. If the human body is capable, if all these athletes are capable of doing 25 hours, 30 hours, 40, it's definitely possible. It obviously might not be possible running because of the impact stress, but that's why I've been doing the cycling. And we can talk a bit more about that later, but today we'll focus on the marathon session. So if I look tired, it's because I probably bloody am tired. But listen, it's a good tired. I'm working hard. I really want to get some big results, but I'm doing it in a smart and an intelligent way, where if you control the intensity, you don't feel tired, okay? Someone else commented about racing. What's the big obsession with like getting out and racing? Like, sure, I'll just go run, I don't know, Castlewellan Marathon next week. Sure, I have Antwerp Half Marathon, I have Berlin Marathon. I did the 5K. It put me in a bloody hole with my ankle and my foot and my calf and my shin. Everything was sore for like 10 days. don't get super obsessed with that. Race, race, race. Get yourself ready to achieve something you've never achieved before. Why does everybody want to cash in? You don't need to cash in right away. Be patient. Build something special. Go race really well. And there was another, oh no, back to the tired comment. That's where the human body, you'll get used to it. I'm going to link it to kind of overtraining, and that's what we can kind of talk a little bit about today. If you're not in control of your intensity, it can lead to overtraining. You might not be doing over volume, but you might be doing over intensity. Over intensity can lead to fatigue and tiredness, but you guys might see that I look tired quicker than I will because I'll see myself too often each day, each morning, that I'll see that transition happen like you don't notice it. But someone else who might be a bystander who hasn't seen you in 2 weeks, they'll notice it, right? And so that's the point I'm trying to make. But in terms of overtraining, you don't feel it because you just get used to the new state of how your muscles feel. You get used to that feeling of tiredness. You get used to that feeling of soreness. That becomes the new norm. So that's kind of what you're not looking to do. So be careful with that. Well, that's why I wear the heart rate strap, the Moxie monitor, monitor all these things to try to prevent fatigue and tiredness, to get the most out of a session, but it not over fatigue me to go into tomorrow. And to be a good runner, tomorrow has to fucking count. So by now, because I've spoke for a right wee while, I've probably showed you the warm-up. I've probably showed you all the bloody drills because I'm trying to probably fill gaps here, but yeah, that's a long ass intro. But I'm actually now going to go do the warm-up, even though you might have already seen it. Drills, strides, all that kind of stuff. Crack on with this session, and then we'll sort of talk about how it went. And yeah, be careful with the overtraining stuff. You know, don't cash in from a race perspective until you're fucking ready to race. You know what? Like, I don't get the obsession. But I now need to put my heart rate strap on. I'm actually almost feeling like I'm starting to shiver, which I'm loving, because then it means I'm not overheating. But yeah, thanks for watching that massive spiel. And I gotta go warm up. Alright, so I've moved myself into the car. It's a bit windy outside, and there's also, I don't know, car parked, van parked. Doesn't look great, looks a little bit sketchy. I feel like this is my like Hollywood set. Like, I have my camera, I'm on set here, and so when there's like people and cars and vans and workmen, it's kind of like, guys, get out of my set. Anyway, you'll probably notice I'm in a fairly good mood. When I'm training well, or when like a session's going good, it's funny, like I kind of think to myself, like, what would I name it on Strava? And that's like, it's almost like an arrogance or like a cockiness in my own head that I'm thinking, but it just means it's going well. So I'm thinking, like, you know, what would I name this? Or and I think maybe it'll become the name of the, you know, the YouTube video itself. But honestly, I think it would be like something like, I think I can do this, or I'm starting to believe, or maybe I'll pull this off. Yeah, that was really good. And I think because you guys have maybe seen like little bits of ups, little bits of downs, it depends how long you've been watching this for. There was days where I was in Flagstaff doing 1200s or Ks, and I had to run like 3:35 per K if I remember right. There was literally a day, you know, last week was it, that I had to run, you know, 3:25, 3:30 per K in the park, in Bushy Park. And it's mad that you need, I've talked about, like, you need to have a short memory, but you almost need to have this almost naivety that you don't even think about it, in a way that, like, how the fuck can I run 3:25, 3:30, know that my heart rate's too high, know that the lactate's going to be too high, and somehow still be thinking I can go and run 3:05 per K for 42K. But it's mad that I just don't even really think about it anymore. I don't like overanalyze it, but where I'm going with that is, I just like that this channel has been good days, bad days, up, downs, vulnerability, all that stuff. But like, but I'm also really trying. There's probably not many people showing up to sessions by themselves with not just a camera for YouTube or, you know, a bloody 360 camera for YouTube or drones. And I'm here with a fucking ice vest and cooling stuff and a core sensor on my side and a stride foot pod and a bloody Moxie sensor. And to some people that would seem a bit over the top, but I just think running is living in the Stone Age. And I do believe that what I've noticed over this last 7 to 10 days when I'm using all the tech and I'm trying to get all those marginal gains, apart from the fact that I had a absolutely filthy Chinese last night and now my stomach is a mess and I woke up feeling absolutely horrendous. But I'm trying in a lot of areas for these marginal gains. And so see a day like today to see it pay off, that is so fun. To be able to run, you know, those 3K reps, to bounce around that park and be running 305, you know, per K. I think the slowest was like 310 per K, you know, working down to like 305 per K. You know, keeping the effort, the intensity, the heart rate, you know, the lactate around 2 or under. But see, now that I'm training the right way, hitting those right zones, not overdoing it, I'm running today, keeping that intensity right where it needs to be, and the speed's good, not vice versa. I'm not putting the speed at where I want it to be and then hoping the intensity will be where, you know, I want it to be. And that's the way I used to train. Now I'm sitting at that right intensity and then just smiling that, wow, that's a good speed for this kind of intensity. So that was really good. Like, subscribe, do all those lovely things, please. You know, it really helps. If you want to check out joggingroom.com, you can. That's where all these marginal gains that I do, they're all put on that platform to teach people what they could be doing. I figured there's a lot of people out there want to be better at running. Not everybody knows what to do, what to start working on. So that's that platform. But yeah, like, subscribe, please do. Have a lovely day. Be kind to yourself, be kind to other people. And yeah, take care.